Hello, Kurt. Good to see you today. And we're looking today at tips for those watching this clip in the context of the very difficult economic climate that we're in. And just for the benefit of people listening to us, Kurt is Managing Director of a technology company, and he's a member of the Do Good Business Collective. He tends to advise on all things technology and is a keen strategist. So in that context, strategy is so important at the moment. Have you got any thoughts about the approach that business should be taking to strategy right now?
It's quite difficult. I've got a range of clients and contacts, and everyone has different challenges. But I would say the number one challenge that everyone was concerned about, obviously, is the energy crisis and the uncertainty around bills. We know that there's help coming, but until that actually arrives, I think most people are sort of hedging their bets and just waiting to see what happens. We've also got worries about inflation at the moment. It's difficult, so everybody seems to be in a round of price increases. So I think one of the most common approaches at the moment is people are having to wait and see what happens. A lot of growth plans are being put on hold. People are just treading water at the moment while they try and see what the lie of the land is. Maybe in 3 months or so, people will reassess and see what kind of assistance has been provided and how they sit market-wise and financially, and then see what happens from there. It's difficult times.
So what I read from what you're saying there is that having a strategy of treading water for 3 months, seeing how things look, and then revisiting the bigger business plan is a strategy in itself. And I guess being able to tread water right this moment is actually a good position to find yourself in.
Absolutely. And it's I've never been a fan of long-term business plans anyway. I think markets and various factors can impact a business very quickly, unforeseen circumstances. So really the ability for a business, especially if it's a smaller business, small or medium-sized business, they can be incredibly agile. I think pausing your business plan or even changing direction completely is not a failure, it's a strength. Small businesses need to have some advantage over the larger businesses, and speed of change of direction, pausing operations, treading water. That's all strengths that small business often doesn't realize that they have over some of their larger competitors.
So that's a real positive step that you can take.
Absolutely.
Thank you for that. And as a business owner, Kurt, you'll see that there's so much in the press at the moment about retaining staff, recruiting, retaining staff. You've got staff yourself. How have you, well, I suppose first question is, have you retained staff?
Yes, we have. We've not lost anybody, but I mean, historically we have incredibly high staff retention rates anyway. It's probably one of core facets of the business. Staff that we've trained up, high quality staff, you really don't want to lose them. So you build your business around your staff and make sure that they're kept happy and contribute in the most efficient way towards the business and its goals.
And if you've got such a great retention rate, how would you explain that, or what tips would you offer to any businesses out there about keeping staff engagement and having a good, happy work culture at such a difficult time?
Yeah, I think the way I look at it is every employee you have is an individual. So if you imagine, you've got all your employees lined up in front of you, you should be able to understand which out of all those employees, what drives them. So any one individual employee, you can say, okay, that employee is driven by the desire for flexible working. They have a very stable family life. They want a stable job. They're not particularly ambitious. Whereas another employee might be very ambitious.
So at a time of difficulties for a lot of businesses with staff retention, I'm aware that you've got a brilliant track record on that. What do you attribute that to?
I think it's a level of understanding of your staff and what drives them. Every staff member you have is an individual, so they all have different drives. So one person may be driven by financial, another person's driven by their job description, another one is very family orientated and wants stability, another one wants flexible working. Some want to be line managers, some don't. So it's making sure that you know what their drives are, and if you can fulfill those drives, then you've got a good chance of keeping the staff member. But they're all individual. You can't really have, it's very difficult to make one cookie cutter policy that will satisfy everyone. You've got to take everyone as an individual.
And how in practice do you implement that? Because obviously you're running a business, You've got so many different roles that you've got to do. How do you actually manage to implement that?
I don't find it too difficult. I mean, we have 20 staff ourselves. I have ample time, and the other members of my senior management team have enough time to chat individually to employees. We're relaxed enough that they can pop in and see us and chat about anything. We really have a very good team mentality, a relaxed but very professional working environment, which people seem to appreciate that. It's about trying to remove barriers, I think, between what people class as senior management and other employees, so that they feel comfortable enough to converse in a relaxed manner and reveal, let us know what's worrying them.
And as teams get bigger and businesses grow, that's a much more difficult, obviously. Any thoughts around managing that?
No, I don't think it's too difficult. I mean, it's a case of making sure that the line managers you have in place within if you have a larger business, you have your line managers or your senior managers, they need to have people skills. So I've seen it in Vigo. In my career, I've seen plenty of people put into a line managerial positions who really don't have the required people skills, but have either been given the role because of time served or because they may have good technical abilities. So in reality, their career path, once they get to a certain technical level, they can't progress any further unless they accept the line management position, whereas they would rather remain as a very skilled, highly paid technician. So not everybody is suited for line management, and I think businesses need to make sure that if you're a line manager, people skills is one of the most important skills to have.
Or I guess alternatively, split the roles between the technical and the people management.
Exactly, because traditionally many businesses sort of stop at the technical side, or they say, if you're technical, you can't progress. Basically, the only way to progress ultimately is to manage other people and manage staff, which doesn't necessarily suit everyone. It's about giving respect to people as well and giving the opportunity to progress in their career, even if they don't want line management.
Thanks for that.
No, you're welcome.
So thinking about your client base at the moment, Kurt, which covers a lot of different sectors, if there was one technology tip that you could give them right now to squeeze a little bit more out of the resources they've already got, which obviously is going to be welcome right now, what would you say to them?
I think most people are unaware of the Office 365 suite and exactly everything it contains. There's a couple of components, Power Apps and Flow, that people often don't realize are there. They can be quite difficult to use, but they can essentially automate a lot of the tasks, especially the ones that people don't like doing. So recently for a client, we've taken, they had sort of a multi-stage process within their business, and we've managed to implement Power Apps to take away about half of those stages and automate them. So 2 people who were doing the work before, who were rushed off their feet and consistently struggling to keep up with it, and now it's not cost anyone any job. They're both still there, but they're both a lot happier because their workloads dropped, and they're now can comfortably just about get everything done in a day. So I think people don't realize that there's an initial disruption while it's set up, and obviously it takes some time and investment, but the benefit further down the line is very good. So increasingly, we've been doing a lot more work with automation for clients. So it's been a busy area for us.
Thank you for that. And presumably, if there's anybody out there that would like to know more about that, that's something we can help with.
Yeah, absolutely.
Some great takeaways there, Kurt. I especially like the one about using technology to the full, because that's something that costs nothing, and as you just illustrated, with very real benefit. And if anybody would like help with this, then please do reach out, because that's something we can help you with.